Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm on a quest to find if Monster Hunter Wilds is a worthy sequel to Monster Hunter World while hunting some monsters. My history with the Monster Hunter series doesn't go back too much. I started to play World and Iceborne in 2020 while everyone was in lockdown because of the COVID-19 pandemic. I started to play a game called Dauntless, which was a Monster Hunter ripoff. Being lukewarm on this free-to-play game, I thought, why not try the original game rather than a copy? I went out and got Monster Hunter World on the PS4. By that point, the game was out for 2 years, so I got it on the cheap. The beginning hours was tough. I didn't know what I was doing, I was lost, and I nearly decided to quit, but I pushed myself forward, and that's how I became a fan of Monster Hunter. I played the heck out of that game, putting more than 400 hours into the main game and the amazing DLC Iceborne. This game was packed with content, and I loved every second of it. So when Monster Hunter Wilds got revealed with a cool ass trailer back in 2023's Game Awards, I was over the moon. The trailer promised a ride for a hunter, changing weather effects and well-crafted blocking animations. In the following months, the game showcased many of the trailers featuring weapons and monsters, and some story trailers, which I decided to avoid most of them so I wasn't spoiled. After all the build-up and hype, Monster Hunter Wilds got released, and it was a day one buy for me. So how is this Capcom developed juggernaut? If you see my first impressions video, you already know some of my thoughts. If not, let me tell you. After 50 hours of playing this game, I can confidently say that this game is amazing. From the addicting combat to badass looking armors, Monster Hunter Wilds does nearly everything great. Almost everything, as there are some things that wasn't as good as the combat. I want to start talking about the main course, the combat. It is brilliant from top to bottom. They took everything that made World great and elevated it. The responsiveness while hunting these monsters is so fluid and the hits feel smooth and more importantly impactful. Thanks to a new feature that is introduced in this game, Focus Mode and Focus Strike, we get to hunt these monsters in style. My favorite animation on these focus strikes was for the Charge Blade. Talking about weapons, the weapons in this game is actually perfect. All of them play so amazingly well that I was surprised because compared to World, not all weapons were accessible to new players, and they were kind of hard to figure out, but in Wilds, I didn't have difficulty playing with any of them. Yes, some took more time to get used to than others, but generally all the weapons were so well thought out and executed. Combo attacks and attacks in general had weight to it that I loved. I prefer more sword-oriented weapons like Greatsword, Switch Axe, Charge Blade, and Dual Blades, but weapons such as bow and gun lance felt satisfying to play. One of my problems that lie in combat is the difficulty. I like that these weapons felt easier to get used to compared to World and Rise, but the difficulty levels fighting these monsters does feel easier this time around. I do feel conflicted about this as I'm not a big fan of how easy it felt, especially in low rank. Wilds was a very easy game. Yes, low rank should be your introduction to this world as a way to get the player used to the monsters, crafting, and the combat. The low rank in World was way harder for me. I remember dying so many times. I died and learned the patterns of the monster and tried again, crafted better armor and weapons, and with this I spent more than 400 hours on World and Iceborne. But in Wilds it didn't matter that much what armor or weapons I used. Obviously it matters, but compared to World I felt like that. And what happened to seeing what element a monster is weak to? Monster details feel more complicated now. Anyways, low rank is like that. So how's high rank, you might ask? It is way better. The monsters pose a challenge and it is much more fun as I need to think which armor to go in with in a battle, but still compared to World it feels easier. I get why they did that, to get more people and make it more accessible, but I don't know man. I felt like they made it too easy. Hopefully title updates and upcoming DLC, if they do one, balances the difficulty. One of the reasons these felt easy is actually the traversing around the map. Traversing in this game is so fast now thanks to these customizable sacreds. It makes it much more efficient to go around these maps rather than running everywhere. But because of traversing being this fast, I felt like I wasn't exploring these maps as much as I wanted. In high rank, I tried to free roam a lot, and that helped, but I wish the game gave me more opportunities to go for exploration. Like investigations in World. We don't have them anymore. This time around, you can pull things to yourself with your slinger. This made collecting and farming way faster. There are things that you can pull to yourself, and if you're close enough you can pull it and add it to your pouch. This was definitely a welcome mechanic for farming.
water, the downpour, and now it's so sparkly. Oh, my eyes are spinning.
After the combat, the best thing about this game is the freaking monsters. The new and returning monsters all look amazing. Literally, there is no monster that is mid or bad. They are all great, some better than others. The new monsters that are introduced are great additions like Lalabarina, Azarakan and Rei Dao being my favorites. It was good to see series classics like Ratalos and Ratian in the beautiful RE engine. The flagship monster of Arkweld was such a sick design with his whip looking wings. Overall, I loved all these monsters and I will make a ranking video for them soon. They definitely deserve their own video. Monster Hunter Wilds has a story like past iterations, but this time around they have put more effort into expanding the world and the cast of characters. The story starts with a young boy called Nata running away from his village after the flagship monster Arkweld attacks the village. He meets the guild and our customizable hunter, which they agree to take Nata back to his home. We go from place to place fighting monster to monster in this underwhelming story with kinda cringy moments. I gotta say, the story in this game is a weird one. I really applaud Capcom for making a dedicated story for this game. It does have some cool moments and some bold ideas towards the end, but overall it didn't work for me. Mainly the reason being that our hunter felt like a side character and only there for doing others' job. The story felt like it was Nata's story. I get that they tried to make Nata the character that newcomers to the Monster Hunter series could follow along and learn about this world as he does, but even for that reason, Nata got sidelined at times. So who's the main character? The story should have had more focus just in general. Even going from location to location felt rushed and seemed like Capcom wanted to show off these new locations as soon as possible. There were some cool moments though, like the opening is great. The cutscenes of the monsters are amazing, and seeing monsters battling these set pieces in cutscenes put a smile on my face. I just felt that there were too many cringy moments. Spoiler alert, especially with Nata crying over Arkweld because it deserves to see the world as he did, but like, bro, that monster's basic instinct is to kill and eat living things. Did you forget that it nearly destroyed your people?
Why? This isn't predatory behavior. It's destructive. We can't let this go on.
There's no other way.
What do you mean? I'm sorry. Arkweld has become a threat to the continued existence of this ecosystem. It must be put down. No! Please. Please!
Nata.
If anyone should be angry, it's me. And I hate that it happened. This is the first thing it ever got to decide for itself. To be free. To live strong. Please. Don't do this. I'm begging you. There has to be another way. It finally got its chance to live!
Some creative choices within the story was disappointing, and that ending with the guild authorizes you to hunt this monster line just did not land for me. I'm sure they thought that they have cooked while writing that line, but it just felt flat and not earned.
For the continued preservation of this ecosystem, the guild authorizes you to slay the Guardian Arkweld.
Acknowledged.
One of my biggest issues was that the characters paused between dialogues, and that felt very awkward. It seemed like the game wanted me to skip these dialogues before they finish, thinking we would read the subtitles faster than a character can deliver the line.
But the Guardians are feasting well, I'll tell you that. What that means down the line, we'll have to see.
What worries me most are the ice shard cliffs. The weather there started going wild, just like here.
Understood. We'll prepare for an emergency as we continue our regional investigations.
Thanks. We'll keep a close watch here and do what we can to contain it. As for everywhere else, I'm afraid we have no choice.
I wish low rank was a bit more harder and the story had more depth. High rank on the other end is amazing. Basically, it is the true Monster Hunter experience. The armors are worth crafting, the weapons feel more even badass, and the monsters' behaviors are more challenging. It is definitely worth sticking around for after low rank because that's when the game opens up. You will fight tempered monsters which might pose a challenge. While the story still progresses even after the credits roll, you are free to do any additional quests alone or with other people. The maps in this game in low rank was okay, but once high rank came into play and the story ended, the maps start to look more pleasing to the eye and colorful. There are many traps that is scattered around these maps that you can use to your advantage. The multiplayer experience is actually very good, but connecting with a friend can feel jarring thanks to the game's annoying navigation of its menus. But hopping on a quest with randoms feels smooth. Overall, I absolutely love this game because of its fantastic combat and battles against these great monsters. Capcom has found the best way to play Monster Hunter. After playing this, it is difficult for me to go back to World and Rise because of the focus mode. The focus mode and the focus strike has become an essential gameplay tool for me. I felt like I had more control over the battle, which is my preferred way to play. For the story side, it lacks a lot. Like I said, I really do applaud Capcom for making a story. And it is better than nothing or minimal story, but I just wish they made less cringy moments, put the focus on us, the hunter, rather than following a kid that I didn't care about at all, and the low rank. If it was a bit more difficult, it would have been more satisfying. The multiplayer side holds up well and it's a blast to play with friends. This game could have been an easy 10 out of 10 for me if it weren't for those negatives. My score for Monster Hunter Wilds is a 9 out of 10. The combat is one of the best in any action game I have played and it carried this game to a 9. So what did you think of Monster Hunter Wilds? Are you still playing it daily like me? And which weapon main are you? Please let me know down below, and as always, I'll see everyone on the next video.